Everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It is Chad here once again with another tutorial on Maschine mk3. Now today we are going to be covering compression. Now compression is something that you would use if you had a sample that was, say, doing what you didn't want it to do. If it was too loud in the overall mix, it was giving you a few problems where you couldn't keep a lid on the sound, then this is what compression would be used for. If it's too loud, then it's going to keep it to the same volume, whatever you apply it by. But we're going to get straight into it and we'll explain a few things. So we've got this sample here. Now we're going to go ahead straight away and just add a compressor right now. So first thing we're going to cover is the threshold. Now if we turn this up, can hear like we're given the sample loads of room to maneuver, whereas if we bring it down, you can already hear that we're not giving it, we're pushing down on it. Think of if you're at the swimming pool and you have a beach ball and you're pressing it down, like you're holding it under the water. This is what the threshold does. The threshold is saying you cannot go past this. So the threshold is your first one that you're going to work with. So the next one we're going to cover is the knee. The knee is how hard or soft that the compressor is going to work. So the knee dictates how smooth the transition is as the compressor moves from uncompressed to a compressed state. Soft is smoother and hard is more abrupt. So if you apply the knee, it's very subtle, so it's quite important to use your ears and really try and focus in on how this is affecting the sound. Now the amount is essentially the ratio. A lot of compressors, it will typically be ratio. I don't know why Native Instruments have it as amount, but it's essentially the ratio, but we have it in percentages. So like ratio would sometimes be like 2:1 or 4:1. So, but we're going to work with the percentage here because this is what we have. So this is, the amount is basically how hard the compressor is being used. So if we play it, if I have it at 0, the compressor isn't working at all. If we go up to 100%, that means the compressor is 100% doing its job. So you can hear it. If I push that threshold up and then change the amount, then we're not using it. So again, these are these fine little tuning adjustments that you can use just to kind of get the desired effect and the desired level that you want. So the next thing I'm going to cover is the amount, not the amount, sorry, the attack. So the attack is measured in milliseconds, and this is the time that it takes for the compressor to fully compress the signal once it crosses the threshold. So if you have a longer attack, say 90 milliseconds, 100 milliseconds, this will cause the initial transient to cross the threshold uncompressed. Playing with attack time is usually how we shape transients. Longer attack time equals punchier transients. Short attack times are used to smooth out signals and catch the peaks. So you want to go with a longer attack time if you're looking to have more of an impact in it. So let's have a look, or have a listen rather. So you can hear how much that's having an impact. So the next one we're going to go to is release. Release is the amount of time that it takes for the compressor to deactivate fully once the signal drops back below the threshold. So this is basically when it stops working. So having a longer release can create a kind of pumping effect, or it can be used to clean up reverbs and squash down like long tails if you have a big tail reverb on. This can kind of sort that out a wee bit for you as well. So we're going to have a wee mess around with the release. So I'm going to jam this up. So again, just to go over that again, it's the releases for when the compressor will stop working, the amount of time it takes for it to stop. So the last one that we would use is the makeup gain. So the gain this would be the last thing. That's why it is on last on the actual effect here. So generally the last parameter you would adjust is this one when you set up your compressor. If a compressor reduces the gain of a signal by 5 decibels, you can use the makeup gain to turn it back up. So this is essentially just a volume knob at the end of this. So it might seem a wee bit kind of counterproductive, but you can use this to kind of make up what you feel as if you've maybe lost out. So you can hear that's coming right down. But if you feel like you've maybe trimmed a bit too much off, you can just make a tiny minor adjustment here just to make it back up. So yeah, that is going to do it for today's video, folks. Just a small introduction to compression and how you would use that to affect the level in your overall mix. We will move into sidechain compression and using compression to punch through, mixing your drums with your sample and using the compression to push through the sample and making it a bit more punchier. But yeah, that is going to do it for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of it. I certainly did, as always. And don't forget, if you like what you've been watching recently, please subscribe. Consider liking it, sharing it, all that good stuff. I will see you all again in the next video, and as always, take care. Bye.